What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Chris Berard, aka Berard Media, and right behind me I've got my IS300, and I figured I'd give you an update of what's going on with it. Now I won't lie, life's been pretty busy, so I haven't always had the time I've wanted to put towards working on it. It's definitely been a hurdle to get things done as far as just the budget. You know, I've got a lot of other things I've got to deal with, but so far pretty good. I've got the car pretty much done. It just needs to be tuned and a couple of other things, but I figured we'll go ahead and do a little walk around on it, show you what I've done. And yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing I'll show y'all up front is something I did recently, my headlights. So if you look, they are a little bit different than last time. I took them apart and I painted these housings black, and I also installed some halo rings. I still got to wire those up, so they're not officially working right now. I'm still deciding how I want to wire them up. But then I did take it to my work and get them re-cleared. Shout out to my painter Manny, he did a fantastic job on them. Definitely wish I had taken a little more time on the inside of the lights and got that right, because you can see here there are some blemishes in the paintwork and some other odds and ends here. This lens is kind of messed up. That's not from the re-clear. There's just some damage on this lens from before that wasn't able to get sanded out. But yeah, now moving on to the bay, you'll see pretty much everything is together. This car does run now, it does drive. I do not drive it because it is not tuned yet. I'd rather get it on the dyno and make sure everything's right before we do that. But I'll kind of show you what's going on around here. I've got my intake pipes heat wrapped. That's just hoping that it'll lower the intake temps a little bit. I still need to repaint these. I'm not really happy with that. But you can see the turbo's all hooked up. I had to fix an issue with the drain line. It was leaking a little bit of oil into the exhaust. I got that sorted. There was a huge exhaust leak running all the way down the car, and especially up here. And it was actually because this manifold was a used manifold. It was a little bit warped and it wasn't allowing the gasket to squish all the way, and it was causing a very obnoxious exhaust leak up there, right underneath these two pipes right here. So honestly, just to fix that, I double gasketed it and it works perfectly fine. There's no exhaust leak. It sounds good. We welded up a whole mid pipe section because I didn't have one, ran it the whole length of the car, and it's still running out of some kind of eBay muffler. I don't know if I'm going to change that eventually. I might actually end up doing that, but for now it sounds pretty good and I'm happy with it. One thing I'm going to work on today is this throttle lock. I actually found this off of a spare throttle body I had, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in this one since this is the good throttle body. And you can see there's still some miscellaneous stuff I need to move out the way. That's a vacuum line I need to tee in somewhere for a boost gauge in there. You'll see the ABS relocation's kind of janky. I need to kind of fix that. Battery relocate is good. The bay has actually been repainted a little bit. Over here, fuel pressure regulator. This one's been working good so far, no issues. I actually made a bracket right here for my EMU black. That keeps that out of the way. I actually really like the location of that. Eventually I may remove all this and put it under the dash, but we'll see. I'm not there yet. On the interior side of things, not a whole lot's changed. I do need to get some seats. I bought this 3D printed 3-pod gauge that fits right here. And this works with the tray style dash cubbies. It will not work with the ones that has the button that opens up. So keep that in mind, but this one is like $20-30 and it works fantastic. I do not have everything hooked up yet, and I am probably just going to use some 3M tape to hold this in place. Down here you'll see is my fuel pump switch. I am not wired into the ignition, so in order to use the fuel pump, just flip that down. Then when you need to kill the car, you can do that, or just cut the key, whichever way. I really like that, and I think the safety cover is a nice feature, so if something does happen, you can kind of just kill the pump really quickly. But other than that, the interior is pretty much basic. Got the rear seats back in. Fuel pump is down there. That's a Walbro 525 unit with a Autosport Engineering pump hanger. It's the dual pump hanger with the 8 AN send, 6 AN return. And that is really nice. I'm getting all the fuel I need all the time, especially with the bigger injectors and everything. In the trunk, you'll see it's a bit of a mess. I don't have a battery in it currently. I actually did just get a AGM battery for free that I'm going to see if it'll hold a charge. If it does, then we're probably gonna run that because I can't say no to a free battery, especially an AGM. And that should give me all the power I need for this car to run the ECU and the fuel and all that stuff. And actually, as a matter of fact, just checking on that battery right now, you can see it's still charging. I believe the battery is good because I feel like by now, after a whole night on the charger, it would have said if something was wrong with it. We have been checking it is holding voltage and stuff, so just need to get it all the way back up to the right voltage, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, other than that, the car is pretty much done. You can see it's absolutely filthy from sitting. We're not in the driveway because we got a couple other projects we're messing with right now. But overall, it's doing pretty good. Pretty happy with it. It's definitely taken some time, but I'd rather just do everything right the first time than cut corners and speed through it. You can see I put a F Sport badge on it. Definitely not leaving that on there. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, so I'll probably just show some clips of the car running, kind of give you a little bit of details on how that whole process went down. It was a couple months ago. I didn't actually get the first start on camera, just because we spent so much time trying to figure out, you know, why it wouldn't run, that by the time we actually did get it running, I wasn't even recording. And that is my main problem with YouTube, is I'm not consistent enough with actually hitting the record button when I should be, because honestly, I could have generated a lot of content off this car. And I'm sure there's things y'all would like to see. If y'all would like me to go in depth on certain aspects of the build or anything I've done, I would be happy to. Just leave a comment below. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive right in. So all of this is installed. I've got the wastegate and the blow-off valve, vacuum lines ran. I've got the vacuum teed into here. I'm still trying to figure out some of these harnesses and shit up here. And then I need to go ahead and get the intercooler piping tightened up and get the ECU in. And we actually might be able to crank it. So this was actually the day I attempted a first start on the car. So we got everything put together, and this is kind of how it went. So the car kept doing the same thing. Eventually it got too late. So I did some research and found out that I wasn't getting enough fuel. So I did a fuel map, and that's when the car cranked for the first time. So at this point, now with the car running, it was time to get the full exhaust ran. I had a whole exhaust except for the mid pipe. So this here was a mock-up of a new mid pipe that would connect the down pipe to the rest of the car. And you see I had to step it down a little bit because the rest of the exhaust was 2 1/4 and the down pipe was 3 inches. And once we got that all mocked up on the car, we welded everything up, and here is how it sounded. So yeah, not a bad exhaust note. As you can kind of see, there's a lot of smoke coming out of the tailpipe, and it is due to running rich. We just need to get the car tuned. If there are any other issues with it, we'll find out once we get it on the dyno, and have someone kind of look at it and see how it's getting fuel and all that good stuff. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope to upload some more content here soon. Once I get the battery in, once I get it tuned, we'll definitely be doing some more stuff with the car that I'm very excited for. So until then, stay tuned.